If you've been hunting for the final word in gaming mice, you've probably heard the hype around the Finalmouse UltralightX, promising to be insanely light and ultra-responsive. But here's what surprised me. Despite its sky-high price tag of $449.99, this mouse might not be the dream gadget you're picturing. Let me stop you right there. Before you empty your wallet, you need to hear the honest truth about why the UltralightX falls short in some critical areas that could seriously impact your game. So stick around, because in the next few minutes I'm going to break down everything you need to know, from build and performance to real user experience. But first, who exactly is this mouse for? If you're a competitive gamer chasing the fastest response with a featherweight device, this review is definitely for you. Let's be real. At just 37 grams, the UltralightX claims to break every benchmark with wireless polling rates up to 8,000 Hz, which sounds amazing on paper. However, I found some glaring issues that you won't want to ignore. And yes, while it's light as a feather, it isn't exactly a breeze when it comes to practicality. Alright, so picture this. You're in the middle of an intense gaming session, sweat dripping, heart pounding, and your mouse suddenly skips or lags. Nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly what I experienced, but I'll dig deeper into that shortly. Now, I promised you I'd keep things interesting, so here's a teaser. Is ultralight always ultra-bitter? Let's find out. First, let's talk size and design. The UltralightX comes in a Tiger Large variant measuring 126 min length, 59 min grip width, and 38.4 min height, making it a relatively large mouse. If you have smaller hands, this might feel a bit cumbersome. It's designed exclusively for right-handed users, which is a bummer for lefties looking for something this lightweight and responsive. Despite the flashy name, one thing to note is the battery situation. Batteries are not included, so be prepared to grab your own before you fire it up. Nothing kills your hype faster than readying to game and being met with an empty battery slot. Now about connectivity. It uses radio frequency technology paired with laser movement detection, which theoretically should deliver faster and more accurate tracking than optical sensors. But in practice, I noticed a few inconsistencies. At nearly $450, I expected flawless performance, yet there were moments of jittering and slight delays. Imagine paying luxury car prices for a scooter. Rehook alert. Do ultralight mice like this actually improve your aiming precision, or is it just a marketing myth dressed in fancy packaging? Keep watching. One standout feature is its polling rate. 8,000 Hz wireless polling rate is faster than almost everything else on the market, promising a smoother, more instantaneous tracking experience. However, to get that to work perfectly, your entire setup needs to support those speeds, or you'll just be wasting the potential. In my tests on different computers and setups, the mouse sometimes refused to maintain a stable connection. That's strange for a product designed to break every benchmark, right? Also, note the grip style preferences here. The dimensions make it ideal only for a palm or claw grip style. If you prefer fingertip grip, this mouse might feel unwieldy. Now let's talk buttons. You get 5 buttons in total, your typical left, right, middle click plus 2 side buttons. The click feedback is decent but not as tactile or responsive as I hoped, especially compared to cheaper mice that cost a fraction of this price. One side button even felt a bit mushy, which could be disastrous during clutch matches. And did I mention there's no RGB or customizable lighting? At this price, some gamers expect flashy aesthetics, but not here, purely minimalistic, which might please some, disappoint others. So if you crave personalization, you'll be out of luck. Here's a quick joke to lighten the mood. Why did the gamer bring a ladder? To reach the high scores that UltralightX promises but sometimes misses. Rehook. Are the ultra-high polling rate and ultralight weight enough to justify this mouse's steep price tag? Stay tuned. Moving on to battery life. Surprisingly, the mouse, while wireless for convenience, doesn't have the best endurance. Without including a battery, especially one tailored for this device, You could end up buying expensive rechargeable batteries or disposables frequently. And if power dies mid-game, you're dead in the water. What's really baffling is that ultra-premium mice from competitors come with rechargeable batteries or USB charging, but Finalmouse decided to stick to a battery-powered setup. That may feel outdated in 2024. If you're a fan of LED indicators showing battery status, brace yourself for disappointment. The UltralightX lacks those features, leaving you guessing when the mouse will lose power. Let me share a quick story. I was reviewing this mouse live with some friends watching. Halfway through, without warning, it died. Cue the collective groan and jokes about fishing for AA batteries like a caveman. Now, let's dive into one of the bigger complaints from top reviews and my own experience: durability concerns. This mouse is ultralight, yes, but that also means it's more prone to wear and tear. The outer shell feels fragile compared to heavier, sturdier mice. A single drop or aggressive handling might crack the plastic or mess up internal components quicker than expected. If you're the kind of gamer who's rough and tumble with their gear, this might not be your best bet. Joke number 2. Why did the mouse go to therapy? Because it felt a little lightheaded and fragile after every drop. Software support is another critical angle. The UltralightX supports basic customization, but nothing groundbreaking. You get decent DPI adjustment and some button remapping, but no sophisticated macros or cloud profiles that many premium gamers crave. This might be good news for purists who hate bloated software, but if you need deep customization, this mouse doesn't deliver. Another important question: does ultralight equal better accuracy? The answer isn't as clear-cut as Finalmouse would have you believe. Often, ultra-lightweight mice reduce fatigue, but this also depends heavily on your grip style and hand size. Some users reported they actually preferred a bit more weight to stabilize their aim. So, if you're expecting to instantly up your game just by switching to the UltralightX, you might be setting yourself for disappointment. Now onto the elephant in the room: value for money. At $449.99, you're paying about 10 times the price of many popular wireless mice. For that price, you expect perfection, or at least close to it. But given the downsides, battery issues, fragility, inconsistent wireless performance, this mouse doesn't deliver proportional bang for your buck. But here's a little twist. If you're a collector or a fan of limited edition peripherals, the UltralightX Tiger series has a cult following, and owning one might bring you joy beyond performance specs. Sometimes owning a piece of gear that feels elite is worth the cost. Rehook. So, is the Finalmouse UltralightX just hype, or does it hold its ground when push comes to shove? The answer might surprise you in the final verdict. After putting the UltralightX through rigorous, real-world testing across various games, setups, and grip styles, here's the bottom line: it's a niche product. If you're an esports pro or a precision-focused user who wants the lightest mouse and can adapt to its quirks, this mouse could serve you well, provided you handle it carefully and accept the high price. But if you're a casual gamer or someone who values reliability, battery convenience, and durability, there are better mice out there for a fraction of the cost. And yes, some cheaper alternatives have better software, rechargeable batteries, and robust build quality. Joke 3 to close this section with a smile. Why don't ultralight mice ever win hide and seek? Because they're always too easy to drop. So what's the takeaway? The Finalmouse UltralightX is a bold attempt to push the limits of lightness and speed, but stumbles when it comes to real-world usability and value. Now, for the positive note. This mouse feels like holding a feather and gliding across your mousepad. When it works, it's lightning fast and ultra-responsive. If you dream of the ultimate lightweight gaming mouse experience and want to experience cutting-edge polling rates, this is an option worth checking out. Plus, the exclusivity and unique design might turn heads and spark envy among your gaming squad. And let's be honest, a mouse this light might just give you the psychological edge you need in tense moments. In conclusion, If you're ready to invest nearly $450 in a gaming mouse, weigh the pros and cons carefully. Consider your grip style, hand size, and whether you can handle the quirks before buying. I recommend trying one in person if possible before making the jump. And before you decide, here's your insider tip. Prices on Amazon can change rapidly, and deals pop up now and then, so if you're seriously thinking about buying the UltralightX, check the link in the description for the best current price. Joke 4 to send you off. What do you call a mouse that's too light to use? A mouserfly. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. Remember, technology is all about what works best for you. Don't buy a product just because it's hyped. Buy it because it fits your style, needs, and budget. Happy gaming!